Hey everybody, welcome back to War Budgies and welcome back to Daylight. Today's a bit of a build log type thing. I'm going to talk to you guys about how the settlement of Daylight was built, because I get that question a lot. Sort of the individual components, how it's put together, and also what I plan to do with it. Before I start doing more Fallout battle reports, I want to flesh this thing out to look more like a settlement, because it's not progressed as far as I wanted it to last year. That's just because of a lot of reasons, mostly time. So prior to Welcome to Daylight resuming, we're going to take some time, renovate this, make it look way cooler and a bit more settled in, because, you know, Nora and the gang have been here for a while. So we're just going to start from the ground up. This is a table-worn mat, Caribbean Waters, I think, Caribbean Waters, whatever. And what I've done is I've set it on top of a 3-foot by 3-foot framed corkboard that I got at a local office store, fairly cheap. And what that lets me do is lets me physically pick it up and take it off the table all in one piece, so I don't have to take it apart. Makes it much easier to sort of keep it intact. These little islands that you'll see, these are fairly sturdy corkboard. I don't know what the name of it is. It's much larger than regular cork. So that's just cut into layers. You can kind of see there, stacked on top. Chew them apart with a knife, a fork, my fingernail, whatever, in order to make these little islands. Just glue a stack, tear them apart. Gangplanks here, these are from the oil rig set, which you've seen in the Warcaster videos at least. Eventually it's going to show up in Fallout one of these days. For the ship itself, this, by the way, phenomenal kit. I will absolutely recommend this. Let me find where I put it. This is the, from Tabletop Combat, TT Combat. I have another one for reasons I don't remember why I bought two. But it's a cargo ship kit. So it's just a little flat pack MDF kit, builds out to that. That is the cargo ship plus the cargo ship extension, which goes in the middle, makes it this nice long shape. So if you don't have the extension, your ship's probably going to go about to, say about maybe there. So you get this extra length in there. You also get little radiation box, which you may recognize as the altar from season 2. Excellent kit there. And after that, things get much more into the scratch build type region of things. And we're going to talk about something I get asked very often, the generators. So the generators are built fairly simply, but before I get into them, this is what I like to call the scrap build. And I differentiate the scrap build from the scratch build, because the scratch build is, I'm going to take, as I determine it, is I'm going to take some materials and build them together. The scrap build is I'm going to take my scrap box, which is literally garbage, and then make stuff out of it. And I recommend that everyone keeps a scrap box. See if I can do this without breaking anything. And there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's leftover bits from MDF kits, resin bits, wire. I don't even know what those are. Just whatever sort of interesting looking trash you can find. It's a bullet box. Just toss it into here. And then when you need to build something like ramshackle generators, you've got stuff on hand. Now the basic core of these, both of the two generators are built the same way. We've got an A-frame that was built out of MDF ladder scraps. You can see there. It's been fortified with just some random MDF strips. Toothpick there. Used to be a toothpick over here, but fell off, go figure. Got some wires and cabling and stuff that hangs down the middle. This little thingy on top just to make it look like it could hook up to something in theory. And my favorite, this up here at the top, is a bullet casing. I like my revolver rounds. You can actually see 4.54 Casull there on the back. If you look really close. So I took a bullet casing, I smeared it with some PVA glue and sand, a little bit of Astro Granite from Citadel. That was mostly to make the paint stick, because brass does not want to hold paint. And then I shot a bunch of hot glue into the front of it and stuck a propeller from a plane kit. It's actually the same plane kit that you'll see in some of the, as terrain in some of the games, the giant plane that's crashed on its side. That's one of the propellers from the wing that's not there. And that's it. It just has to look kind of funky. The main shape up here at the top is a bullet casing plus the propeller. The other one started off the same way. Same type idea. We got our A-frame there. Have the ladders with all the support structures. Another bullet. This is I sort of hoard random looking computer components because I think they're cool. So this is actually the blade out of some sort of fan from an old graphics card or something. It's probably worth like $6,000 or whatever in this day and age. And then when I expanded it out to a large generator, Just added on more structure at the bottom. These are craft sticks, some more terrain bits. It's a tire from a military vehicles kit that I don't remember which one it is. And that's it. Just give me a general shade, don't make it too crazy, but it looks like someone really wanted to elevate a fan, and that's all they got. Special shout out here for the food processing station, or whatever it's called. This was a very fun build. I got paint all over my hands because I've been painting today. This is just some little pieces of craft wood that are glued together. Hit it with a ink wash in order to make the wood look old. Put some paper under there. And then this is, I believe, HO scale corn. It's from JTT Scenery, and it's the same corn that you'll see in the Defend the Farm scenario. Same product, different scale. This is your O scale corn, this is your HO scale corn. So they just put them all down, glued them in place. I think I've dabbed a little bit of a green ink on there just to make them look more natural and a little less vibrant, because it's Fallout. So that one's good. These little squares, same type thing. We got a square of craft plywood, a bunch of cork and sand and stuff glued to the top with the stalks. In one of the recent battle reports, I did say that I was looking for these. I did find the bag of them, so we're in good shape. Just gonna touch really quickly on some of the other things here. This was from a Broken Contract Kickstarter. It's a nifty little case, actually opens up, so you can store stuff. I don't remember where the grading is from, but it's just MDF stuff, and then just glued some of the extra weapon packs from Modifius onto the side of it to make the weapon racks. The shop, same type idea. We got some toothpicks there, craft sticks, and then just little doodads from military kits. You can go onto Amazon or whatever and just buy like bags of just random stuff. So we got bed rolls, bags, ammo cans, set up binoculars down there. All that stuff. Next to it, we've got more bags, fuel cans. I like to put stuff on these. This is a bit of plastic card. I like to put them onto these bases just so that they're easier to take on, take off. Our communications array, this is just a bit of wire mesh that's been bent. That's an old Games Workshop base. And the landing strut to a vehicle kit. Just turned sideways. The last thing I'm going to touch on, okay, actually I'm going to pause real quick. This, by the way, if you want to go back and see some really poorly done videos, this is one of the first War Budgies videos ever. This is how to make rustic ladders. And I'm not going to tell you how it was made, because it should be pretty obvious. You can also go check out the video. I still have these lying around because I have an emotional attachment to them. For the lighthouse itself, we got a piece of bark down here that I painted up to look like a rock. That's to give it weight. Then just absolute nonsense doodads all up and down this thing. So we got a ladder here, we got a Games Workshop ladder, you can tell because skulls, wires running down, headlights up top from GW tanks, plastic card, struts, really just anything to make it look like a ramshackle thing, because part of the beauty of making terrain in Fallout is you can make it look like crap and it fits in perfectly. Fun fact about this, the reason it's on a pine bark base is because when I built this, I didn't know what environment you guys are going to choose for daylight. So it's sitting on a rock so that it can fit in either in a desert, on the swamp area, or sitting out here in the ocean. So as far as what is next, what I'm going to work on next is expanding this thing out. In the last episode before the break, Nora and the gang brought home a bunch of survivors, so the population is expanding. We've got Codsworth and Mirelurks are going to be growing up, getting everywhere, no doubt. So we need to have more real estate here, or I need to make better use of it. And since you guys did choose the coolest environment, the ship, we got to get a little bit creative. So here's what I'm thinking. We got a bunch of open real estate here. We're going to do like a floating barge type thing, sort of a rectangle. That's probably going to be some living quarters. So that's going to be set up here, anchored to the ship, so it's floating, doing all that nonsense forthwith. I want to do a giant awning, sort of a canvas thing, probably running from the top of the bridge out to maybe the beacon, maybe somewhere else. But just, have you seen kind of in Fallout 4, the Raider tarps, I guess, where they're the big red ones that kind of sweep down? Same type thing. I got this, I don't remember where I found this stuff. I got this cool, like really rough cloth and all that, so I'm gonna cut some triangles out of it. We're gonna put some cover up there because it rains in Newport News, and it's actually raining right now in Newport News, and it would suck if you had nowhere to go. So some living quarters out here, tethered on there. On the back, we're going to do another raft build. Finally get to populate with some food. So that's probably just gonna be a basic rectangle with some mesh on the bottom that I can add these squares to represent how much food the settlement has got at any given point. And then of course at some point there's going to be a flag of daylight that we have to post out here, so feel free to drop in the comments, let me know what you think the flag of daylight would look like and why it's Codsworth. So thank you guys for watching. When we do part 2, we come back, I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like, walk you through those modifications, and then we will get rolling back with Welcome to Daylight. So thanks y'all for watching.